Hi, this is Mrs. Marita. Welcome to section 4.5, part 2 of Systems of Linear Inequalities. All right, let's finish up this section 4.5. This is part 2 of your 4.5 lesson, and we're on example 2 on page 94. Last example, example 2. What system of inequalities is shown by each graph? So to help us communicate on this one, let's number these two lines. So I'm going to number this first one line 1 and the second one line 2. So line 1 is this line going that way, and line 2 is this line, oh, kind of missed. So we've got our two lines. And so for line 1, we need to go through all those important steps. So first, we need to find the slope and the intercept. Our intercept is -1. And then we can just look for a couple more nice points. Looks like we go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. So our slope, 1 over 1, or just 1. Next, we need to talk about the shading for our inequality. And so our shaded region, the solution, is where we have the darkest shaded area, where they overlap. And so that's going to be right here. This is the solution to the inequalities. And so if we look at line number 1 is a solid line, and the shading is below our line. And so with those two important facts, solid and shade below, this tells us that our inequality is going to be a less than or equal to. Solid, so you have the or equal to, and shade below, so it'll be a less than. And so for our first line, our system is going to start with y is less than or equal to, so your m is 1, so just x or 1x minus 1. That's my first line. Now let's look at the second. So for our second line, my intercept is right here, and so my b is +1, and then my slope, well, if I go up, it's kind of hard to tell. So let's see, let's find another point. Here we go. So if I look at these 2 points on the line, and it didn't have to be where two lines intersected, but that's the next pretty point, I can go up 1, 2, 3, and then over 1. And so my slope is up 3 over 1, so just 3. This line is also solid, and on this line, it's kind of tough to tell because the line is so steep, but this one we shade above, so shade up. So with these two facts, we know that we're going to have a greater than or equal to inequality, greater than because we're shading above, and the or equal to because we are a solid line. Will be a y is greater than or equal to, let's see, my slope was 3, so 3x, and my intercept +1. And so the answer, when they ask what system of inequalities is shown by each graph, you would list both of these inequalities. These are your working backwards problems. So my final answer is that highlighted region. All right, let's try part B. So for line 1, let's see, line 1, my intercept is at -2. And my m, let's see, here's another pretty point. So I can go up 1 over 2. There's another one. Up 1 over 2. So rise 1 over 2. My slope will be 1/2. This line is solid. And the shaded region, that answer, that looks like this region right here. And so this one you shade below. So I shade below. So using these two facts, this tells me I'm going to use a less than because the shading below, or equal to because we're solid. And so for my first line, my inequality would be y is less than or equal to 1/2 x. Don't forget the x when you're writing your mx plus b. So 1/2 x minus 2. And then for my line number 2, so for line 2, your b and your m, let's see. So my b, my intercept is at the origin, one of those 0 ones. And then my m, let's find another point here. So it looks like we go down 2 to the right 1. So -2 over 1, or just -2. Now this line is dotted, and it looks like my shaded region to the right, this is above. So we shade above. And so these two last facts, this tells me it's dotted shade above. So shade above, greater than, and dotted, there's no or equal to. And so the answer for my second inequality will be y is greater than, my slope is negative 2x, and then my b is just, well, plus 0. And so the final answer would be these two inequalities. And that's it for section 4.5, part 2. We are all done. Make sure you copy down all of your notes and bring your questions to class.